My wife Amelia and I had just settled into what we truly believed was our dream neighborhood. It was one of those immaculate gated communities where every lawn looked like it had been trimmed with nail scissors, and the Homeowners Association seemed to enforce a rule for absolutely everything. We were genuinely excited about this new chapter, especially because Amelia had just reached a massive milestone in her career. After years of relentless dedication, she had been appointed the new police chief of our city. To celebrate such a hard-earned achievement, I surprised her with something extraordinary. A custom Rolls-Royce Ghost. It was a stunning midnight blue masterpiece. Sleek and powerful, a perfect reflection of her strength and determination. The day it was delivered, Amelia was over the moon. She parked it in our driveway temporarily, just for a few hours, saying she wanted to admire it before we reorganized the garage to make room. That small decision turned out to be our first mistake. The following morning, we stepped outside and were met with a nightmare. The Rolls was completely trashed. The windshield had been shattered, the hood was deeply dented, and vicious scratches carved across the paint from front to back. It looked as though someone had methodically attacked it with a baseball bat. We just stood there in stunned silence, trying to process what we were seeing. Who could possibly be this cruel? Then we noticed a note tucked neatly beneath the windshield wiper. It read, Rule 17B. All vehicles must be parked in the garage overnight. This is your first and final warning. Welcome to the neighborhood. I watched Amelia's expression shift from disbelief to something far colder, controlled fury. She didn't yell. She didn't panic. She simply took out her phone, photographed the note, and calmly contacted a forensics unit from her precinct to come to the house. In that moment, this stopped being simple vandalism. It had crossed into something deliberate and personal. The driving force behind the HOA was a woman named Carol. She styled herself as a neighborhood authority figure, a self-appointed queen with far too much time and an unhealthy obsession with control. A few days later, when Amelia and I attended our first HOA meeting, Carol was clearly performing for an audience. She delivered an elaborate speech about maintaining standards and enforcing rules, repeatedly casting pointed glances in our direction. Amelia allowed her to finish uninterrupted. Then she rose to her feet. The chatter in the room faded instantly. My name is Amelia, she said evenly, and as of last week, I am the new chief of police of the city. The silence that followed was absolute. Carol's smug expression evaporated, replaced by unmistakable panic. Amelia continued calmly. The vehicle vandalized in my driveway is now part of an active criminal investigation. We have obtained security footage from a neighboring property, and we've collected fingerprints from a note that was left behind. The destruction of private property at this level constitutes a felony. Carol began stumbling over her words, claiming it was all some misunderstanding, suggesting perhaps neighborhood teenagers were responsible. But the damage was done. The other board members looked horrified and immediately began distancing themselves from her. Over the next week, Amelia handled the investigation with remarkable precision. The security footage clearly captured two individuals, Carol's teenage sons, deliberately smashing the vehicle while Carol remained on her porch nearby. The fingerprints lifted from a note were a direct match to Carol. Confronted with undeniable evidence, Carol and her sons were arrested. The charges were severe: felony vandalism, conspiracy, and in Carol's case, contributing to the delinquency of minors. Word spread through the neighborhood at lightning speed. Then something unexpected happened. Our doorbell began ringing, not with complaints, but with gratitude. One by one, neighbors came forward to thank us. Stories pour out about Carol's years of petty tyranny. Outrageous fines for minor landscaping choices, threats over children playing too loudly, relentless harassment over trivial infractions. People admitted they had been too intimidated to challenge her. Our situation had finally broken her grip on the community. The HOA was dissolved and later restructured under new leadership that prioritized cooperation instead of control. Many of Carol's absurd rules were immediately revised or eliminated altogether. As for the Rolls-Royce, insurance covered the repairs. But the sense of justice that followed was beyond any monetary value. Carol ultimately lost her home trying to cover mounting legal fees and damages, a steep consequence for her arrogance. Amelia quickly became something of a local hero. She didn't just fight crime across the city. she restored order in our own backyard. At last, we experienced the peaceful, welcoming neighborhood we had hoped for from the beginning. Now, every time I see that midnight blue Rolls-Royce gleaming safely inside our garage, I'm reminded that sometimes the most effective way to deal with a bully is to let them discover they targeted the wrong person. My wife isn't just an exceptional police chief. She's also the undisputed champion of unforgettable comebacks. Thanks for watching our story unfold. If you've ever dealt with a wild HOA situation yourself, share it in the comments below. We'd love to hear about it. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. We'll see you next time.